Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. Thank God it's Friday. The NBA's final draft is over, and the final players are now going to their respective teams. Your thoughts on the very publicized Lakers choice?
Well, I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you. Draft choices in the NBA. The NBA is only 2 rounds, folks. And they only take, 64 players, plus the free agents who come into camp, of course, and give it a shot, and they do have possibilities. But to spend a draft choice on a kid like Bronny James, LeBron James' son, to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, the general manager of the team certainly made a strong case for what they did, but Bronny averaged under 5 points a game for Southern Cal. Under 5 points a game. Now, he's a strong jumper and a pretty good defender and all this, but we're talking the NBA here. These are the best players in the country. And just because his father happens to be a future Hall of Famer, and they'll make history, they being the Lakers, if father and son suit up and play in the NBA. And that's fine. But do you spend a valuable draft choice on that? Well, evidently you do, because he was a second round draft choice, he being Bronny James, played here in the Tournament of Champions for Sierra Canyon High School out of California. Was not very impressive here as a player, has grown and changed a little bit, but gosh, when you average under 5 points a game for a Southern Cal basketball team that's playing big time, you have to wonder, but they know what they're doing. So much for that.
Nepotism, it's a very real thing, my friend, and you've seen, and I'm sure everyone has seen, bad choices because of it. So we'll see what happens. The golf tournament happening this weekend, as you mentioned earlier in the week, isn't one of those huge $20 million purses. Nonetheless, it's still action, and who's leading it?
Well, you also have points being given for the FedEx Cup, and that's very important because that's what many of the players are trying to gain so they can get in the very lucrative championship round. The leader is the guy most golfers or most viewers are not familiar with. His name is Akshay Bhatia. He is an American. He's from Northridge, California. He has an East Indian name, but he's been out on the tour and has played well. He shot an 8 under par 62 at the Detroit Golf Club to have the first round lead. Now, it's not a very big lead, and the field of candidates, because this is only a $9 million purse for the entire tournament. That means the winner walks away with about $1.5 million, which I think is a pretty good amount of money. But over and above all that, the field is watered down to some extent, and the fact that the British Open is coming up here in a couple of weeks, not to mention Olympic golf, well, that makes a big change. That's not the only tournament going on. The other one is the Missouri State Amateur Tournament. That's being played up in St. Joseph, Missouri, and today they get into the round of 32, and by Sunday, late Sunday afternoon, we'll have the amateur champion of this state. So golf very much in the forefront.
Last but not least, it's called the Hart Trophy because of the doctor who donated it to the NHL, who won the league's most valuable player this year.
And that's what it is. It's the MVP of the National Hockey League, and it goes to Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche, and he was nothing short of outstanding. The team, now it's based, the Hart Trophy is based on regular season play, and MacKinnon was nothing short of outstanding, an excellent defenseman who did have a fair number of offensive possibilities and probabilities for the Avalanche, but he's the winner. That's a big prize for him, big prize for the Avalanche, and that's a team that'll be reckoned with next year, well, when the hockey season opens up again, and it's probably tomorrow, isn't it, the way they play?
Yeah, it seems basketball and hockey, man, those seasons never seem to end. But as far as Avalanche go, and as much as it hurts me to say, they have had a great team, and they continue to do so. So congratulations to him. The Reds are in St. Louis, and after last night, it looks like they own that town.
Cincinnati is capable of doing that. Now, they're not a consistent team at all, but they've got some guns on their ball club, and they can be very much a pain in the behind, as they were to Miles Michaelis and the Cardinals. Michaelis didn't have it last night. He gave up 9 runs and 12 hits in the time he was in there, and Cincinnati won the game 11-4 over the Cardinals. It was just not a good outing for St. Louis, and as a result, you get a big L in that column there. Well, Still practically midseason. Matter of fact, I believe that was, I may be wrong on this, Mike, but I think that was the halfway point for Cincinnati last night. I think that was game number 81, which means the Cardinals are within a game or two of also reaching the halfway point. But 11-4 was the final. Cincinnati wins it, and the Cardinals still very much in the hunt in the National League Central Division. But you know what? So are the Reds, even though they are under 500. They're a team that's just dangerous enough to be a real pain in the behind when it comes to the final weeks of the season. They do have some good weapons on that team, and they made them come to the fore last night at Busch Stadium.
So you're looking at the standings, and as far as I can tell, American League West and the National League Central, only teams without a team in there that's won over 50 so far, but I got to give it up to your Phillies. They already got 53 wins right now. Watch out.
They still have not played the real Royal competition. They've got to play the Yankees somewhere along the line. Then they have to play the Dodgers, and it's still a ways to go for Philadelphia to prove themselves. Yeah,
and that division is weak. All right, Royals, chance to take some ground in their division. And it looks like they took a step in the right direction yesterday.
Great game. Michael Wacha, a former Cardinal, former Springfield Cardinal for that matter, came out and pitched a wonderful game. They only went a little over 5 innings in the game, but enough to hold down the Cleveland Guardians, who are a very good baseball team, in the lead in the American League Central Division. Royals win it by a score of 2-1. It was a Vinny Pasquantino sacrifice fly when the Royals scored their 2 runs, I believe in the 6th inning, if I'm not mistaken. But Cleveland had a 1-0 lead, and the Royals made them pay for that lack of offense with Wacha and the relief pitchers holding the line. That's a big win for Kansas City. Now there are 3 more games in that series, tonight, tomorrow, and then Sunday. And a good chance for the Royals to make up some ground. They do have quite a bit of ground to make up. I'm not sure that they have the maturity to do that, but we'll find out pretty quickly. Still, a good win for Kansas City, 2-1 over Cleveland. And here in town, a doggone Arkansas Travelers who I don't understand their thinking here. Went belly up last weekend against the Wichita Wind Surge in a situation in which all they needed was 1 win to win that Northern Division of the Texas League. Did not do so. Lost all their games. Come into Springfield to begin the second half and wax the Springfield Cardinals last night. 7-2 was the final score in this one. Arkansas getting the win. So Arkansas has won 2 of the games so far in this series. They play again tonight. Very interesting night coming up because it's a bobblehead night for Keith Gutton, the retired baseball coach at Missouri State. Give out his bobblehead. Should be a very nice celebration. Then tomorrow night is Ozzie Smith's bobblehead night as well in Hammons Field. And Sunday night's game wraps it all up, and that begins at 6 o'clock on Sunday night, the Springbirds and the Arkansas Travelers. But some pretty good baseball on the agenda. Yeah,
and if you don't want to be outside in the heat and you want to stay inside and watch some racing, those drivers are in Music City this weekend.
They are indeed. The Nashville Superspeedway. That's a relatively new track in NASCAR. This will be the 2nd or 3rd year that they've been on that for the event. But it's a very nice track, very nice venue for it. They run 400 miles down there, and the NASCAR guys, will be driving on Sunday in Nashville, Tennessee. Should be a lot of fun.
Ned, you have a wonderful weekend. Stay cool, and I'll see you soon.